I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. And
so it no longer has become just a Snow White movie. It's an agenda-pushing, feminist-fueled agenda. Okay, hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. This woman wrote us about the new Snow White movie with Rachel Zegler. I think it got postponed until 2025.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they postponed it or, pushed it up. Anyways, this woman, Rachel, is, what's the word? She's smug. And so this woman sent us clips of this girl. And so I was going to take a look at it. So I didn't see all the clips yet. But I'm going to take a look at this woman here. And apparently this whole, Disney is doing the most. They're trying to change everything to be inclusive.
Yeah.
So now Snow White's is like, a woman's power Snow White. We can't just have a normal, what was wrong with the old Snow White? All right, let's look at the clips.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in. I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years. When I was doing this. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut, who knows?
I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Well, you can't even go to Disneyland anymore. Have you ever been to that Snow White ride at Disneyland?
I get stopped for photos every time I'm online for the Snow White ride, and it is I have to pretend like, oh God, well, crazy that we're in front of this.
Wait, how often are you in line for the Snow White ride?
And I was like, God, I hope no one, because every time they come up to me, I'm always online for this freaking ride, and they think it's like I'm standing there waiting for the photo op, being like,
well, you kind of are.
Just the weirdest thing, but it always happens to me, and I always have to just pretend that I don't always spend my time here, I swear to God.
Is that your favorite?
I mean,
Wow.
it's one of the original, I'm a really big Disney fan. I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay.
So it's a part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing, so it's just one of those things that comes with the...
Okay, so we get the gist of this woman. Okay, so, you see, I mean, this is what happens, though. It's a little feminist, is what we have. She's a little feminist in the makings. And what's interesting about the Snow White thing is that they're talking about, because it is about the love story. And so we've abandoned love stories, love songs. We've abandoned all that. We don't want that anymore, okay? So the love story is cheesy and square now. Yeah. And we got to talk about women's empowerment and how women are going to be ruling on the world and she don't need no man to be doing. This has done nothing but mess up women. And I don't like that we just abandoned the idea of love.
I mean, I think it's kind of weird that she keeps going to the Snow White ride. You know what I mean? It's like, honey,
every time at the Snow White ride, everyone's always around. Okay,
by yourself, you just go. Like, I wouldn't just be going to Disneyland or World just all the time.
It's almost as if you want to be noticed.
As a grown woman.
I think she wants to be noticed. But and real quick though, I've never heard of this woman in my life.
No, I've never seen her before.
I have never seen this woman in my entire life until this person sent us this clip.
But I would say just in general, I think feminists in general, this is how they come off. They're just mean.
They're just mean.
They're mean and smug and angry. They don't ever seem like anybody wants to hang around you anyway.
Yeah. Does she seem like somebody you want to hang around? Think about it.
When people do this, where everything they talk about is a subject.
Subject, yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I always know that what you really want is love.
Yeah. She wants what she's the opposite.
Yeah. It's just that when people really can't stop talking about something in a way then she doesn't really believe what she's saying.
Yeah. She's also selling to a young audience to make everything about money, make everything about title, make everything about that. Don't worry about that. You don't need a man. You know, this is what she's selling to young people.
I think this also backfired on her too, because there were some videos of women who aren't like me, but they're kind of feminists. They kind of don't believe that, you know, equal rights. They're those girls, you know what I mean? And they didn't like her at all.
Yeah,
they did all these TikTok videos of how much they can't stand her. And I'm thinking maybe if they did shelve it to 2025, it's because she wasn't likable.
Image,
and she became unlikable. Not only that, she kind of makes it seem like fans annoy her.
Yeah, right?
You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. It's an ego, like this sort of ego. Again, when black people worship their race, and when women worship their feminine, their woman, their sex.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you worship something that's not God.
She's the same type of person that's going to call herself queen. You know, these people, you know, these queen women that everyone's a queen. I think we said in the video before a long time ago. You know, I think we actually have a video.
Yeah.
They talk about this, I fix your crown, sis, and all this, the idea that you're royalty and you're up here and everyone's just down there. Like, I feel like I get that kind of vibe from her.
Yeah.
Where she's up here, you're down there. I'm a queen, I'm a woman power, that whole BS.
And so Disney has really bought into
The whole,
sexuality and trans and all of that. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they had like these new girls, like even I think the Haley girl that did
oh yes,
she saves the prince this time.
See what I mean?
And so, you know,
they're taking you out of the role.
That also isn't, you know, a thing. Men are much stronger than women, so the idea that women are just going to go around saving men doesn't even make sense.
And they're
in logic and science.
But they're trying to blur or eliminate roles. You know, we got to talk about this all the time. But they're trying to blur or eliminate roles. And that way, you know, everyone can have this this alleged power. And when you do that, you're going to be so powerful and you're going to be just like a man. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you don't even need a man. You know, this whole idea. So it's not good. But I also will say that I understand that Snow White and all these Disney movies are all movies. They are fairy tales. They are fictional. We get it. But when you are trying to politicize, or when you're trying to, I would say, break down a movie that's been around forever in this way, it means that you're trying to push an agenda. So it no longer has become just a Snow White movie. It's an agenda pushing, feminist fueled agenda for young girls, little girls to see, right? And so their brains are going to be warped now. Because if they like this, what's her name, Rachel? If they like her, they're big fans of hers. Oh, I want to be just like Rachel. Rachel says you don't need a man. Rachel says that, you know, women are gonna, you know, rule the world and all this, because it's taking out a role. It's made women so, this whole feminist thing has made women so unhappy. It's unbelievable that it's.
I mean, if women do run the world, I mean, it will be with the help of men.
Right.
Because men will help feminism. They will, and they have. That's the reason why women are where
they are. That's why it already happened.
It's all because there have been, beta males who have stood behind them and have helped them do it.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I mean, even like with the movie, the Barbie movie, that everybody's talking about, where Barbie goes to the real world and then she finds out that she's been oppressed, and they make it all about, you know, it's a big feminist show. And people are saying, do not take your daughters to go see. This is not Barbie. It's not what you think it is. You know what I mean? But it's just completely feminist and it's disgusting. I myself haven't seen the movie, but I've watched a lot of takes on YouTube on that, and it is pretty sad what they're trying to do. On a light note, they're just annoying and funny to watch, because you feel like, you desperate women, shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on a scary note, this is Marxism.
Yeah.
And this is what Marxism does. It gets to the minds of the youth. You know what I mean? Like, basically, like, even during like the civil rights movement, a lot of those hippies and stuff, they were just young people who hadn't lived life yet.
Yeah.
So it's easy to tell someone who's like a college student or a high school student about life, like a Gloria Steinem trying to tell young women this when they haven't been married yet, or they haven't had children yet, or they haven't dealt with bills in life, that you need a good partner, you need to be with the man that loves you. Those girls haven't lived life. Those men have not lived life. So it's easy to mess with their minds and to get them all, you know, hopped up on something that isn't real to them yet. You know what I mean? So the same thing here. Now they're going even younger. So now we've got grade school kids and elementary kids being told that they can change their sex and being told that anything goes. Drag queens are reading to your kids. Things like that.
Well, it's like the younger you are, the easier it is to insert ideas into young people's minds. So the way that they do this, though, this is why we talk about entertainment a lot and celebrity and this whole fame thing, in movies and stuff like that, because the best way to insert ideas is to do it when it's enjoyable to look at. So it's enjoyable to watch all these movies and listen to this rap music, right? It's enjoyable. They're just inserting ideas into your head. Before you know it, you're talking, sounding, dressing, looking just like these people. Celebrity, these people shape culture. They do, they shape culture. And so that's what worries me about people like her on a bigger scale than just the Snow White movie, is her rhetoric and her attitude, her smugness is what kids are going to take away, right? Young ladies are going to take away that kind of smugness and see it as cool. In the end of all of this, when they get older and start, like Harris said, living life and get different experiences, people are not going to want to be around them. They'll end up being unmarried and all this.
But not only that, even if they get married, they won't stay married. But also, if you get married, you'll start to realize that life is not that.
Yeah.
Sex and the City is another show that was really feminist. It's a funny show to watch, but in real life, if women just act like that, they would end up by themselves. Or even if they got married, because all those women did. Yeah. But even if they get married, their marriages are tumultuous because you can't, because there are some things that are just, you can't mess with.
I know.
And women in general do like a protector. And they like a provider. You know what I mean? And so whenever you see these women who just keep saying it and saying it and then, like I'm saying, like with the Walt Disney stuff and then with the Barbie movie and with shows like Sex and the City and even on some level Friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? All the shows that they're trying to do is just trying to break up the nuclear family, which is Marxist ideas, to break up what God brings together.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, if you can take men and women, put women at work and get women unmarried and get men all into a career without a wife, and then you've got all these kids that come from broken homes, and then the public education then can control their minds because they don't have anything to come home to but an empty house. And then they've got these devices now that we walk around with, and they're just watching Instagram unfiltered. Because you can just get porn on your phone. Kids can just find it. It's just there. It's unfiltered. They have not, pumped the brakes and say, oh, you must accept none of that. You know what I mean? So I think that this is all an agenda to break down America. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so when I look at her as the enemy. Because I know that she knows what she's doing. Yeah, she does. I know that what she's doing is going to harm our country in a bigger way than most people are thinking.
Well, that's why I was talking about the aspect of celebrity with it. It's because celebrities shape culture is the more concerning part. Because what a lot of people that are not wanting, a lot of people who are going to look at her and say, oh, she's just young and stupid, it's just a movie, who cares? Those people that are going to say that are not willing to look deeper into the past and what we're seeing now. But it's always been like that, where they've shaped culture and then we mimic it.
But Beyonce's not young and stupid. J-Lo's not young and stupid. Madonna's not young and stupid.
Right.
These are older women who have now, who are now part of the agenda for the rest of their life.
Right.
Kim Kardashian is never going to be different.
That's it.
Because she's attached to Hollywood. She's attached to the Democratic Party, and they're all at it at the hip. And by the way, it's not just women. It's men also going along with this whole entire thing that's breaking down the country. And we're going to pay for this, by the way. This is all going to, the chickens are going to come home to roost. Our country is going to get hit hard with some devastation because we are messing with God. We're messing with natural order. And it's going to, they're telling you, chickens will come home to roost for this. You know what I mean? We are messing with children. The minds of little girls. And telling them that they don't need anything or whatever they're feeling naturally is not right. Letting drag queens and stuff read to your little kids and saying, oh, well, the drag queens don't kill, but handguns do. It's not the same, and handguns save lives as well. A man dressed up in a woman's clothing and doing sexual routines in front of a child messes up a child's perception.
Well, that's
of what an adult is, what a man
because
is,
they've
what a
been
woman
induced.
is.
Their innocence has now been corrupted, and they've been introduced to something too early. And so, like, I feel the same way about her rhetoric. Is that she's introducing this idea of this, this strong woman kind of thing, and she's introducing it to kids, I think, that are impressionable and influenced very easily. And I can't get, I don't know, I just can't get on board with that. It kind of is very disgusting to watch someone just so blatantly be this way. She's telling young people, young women, young girls to abandon their natural role as women and to become some ball busting whatever, and I'm going to save the man type thing. And it's a very uncomfortable, what girls will find out just through experience, because we, men and women, and boys and girls, we're all just different. We're different. They're going to find out that, well, I don't like this kind of like strong thing. That's just like this type of strong. You know what I mean? Like this kind of man strong. It just makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, it makes you uncomfortable because that is not your natural role. And she's promoting, she's saying, abandon that role that's natural and that makes you feel normal. Yeah, abandon that. Come over here and start this new role where you're going to be just like a guy. And, because anyone could do what they can do. Okay, so what does that do? That makes a young girl look at men later on and boys as weak immediately. Immediately, I can do what you can do. I can do what you can do. You know what I mean? And it's beyond the movie. Is my point. My point is it's beyond the movie. It's the rhetoric and the pushing of. Yeah. So this woman is not talking about a movie. She is pushing an agenda. She's just hiding behind Snow White.
I finally watched the cartoon Frozen. And when the part of the end where the prince comes in, her sister saves her.
Yeah, not the prince.
I didn't like that. I did not like that at all, because it's just like.
Well, I love you, Kara, but
I do,
if I was between my man and then you, I kind of.
But it's not natural that it was between you and a man that a man wouldn't get to me first.
Right.
And so again, I saw even the agenda in that.
Yes.
Because people love that show, Frozen.
Oh, it's all phenomenal.
It's I also see the agenda in that too. Yeah. Trying to eliminate men.
Yes.
And this is the same thing about people like Andrew Tate. I don't agree with everything he does, but what I will say is the reason why he's popular is not because he's saying anything remarkable. It's because boys have been abandoned. He's pushing
masculinity to the limit on purpose, and I am not against that. And in this culture today. Because what we're seeing is boys specifically, are becoming our beta, and it's because we are in this feelings society now. Everything's kind of run with the idea of feminine energy. You can feel the feminine energy in this country.
And the only reason women are rising to the top is because of affirmative action.
Right. Yeah.
Women are only being moved to the top because they're women, not because they've done anything spectacular, but because they are in fact women.
Yeah.
And whenever and again, like I said, they'll be asking for reparations too pretty soon.
But even if they have done something spectacular, we wouldn't know, because they only get inserted into these roles and these jobs and these positions, these titles, because they're women. So we would never know they're spectacular.
Right, and that's why affirmative action
it's just
sucks.
because they're women.
But I mean, it's just another Marxist thing happening.
Yeah.
That when you're young and impressionable. We tell kids to believe in Santa Claus. The only problem is they grow out of that.
Yeah.
And we so they don't look stupid. We tell them the truth. You know what I mean? But this is something that's dangerous, because this is something that they're not going to grow out of, because they're not going to let them. They're going to make sure that they believe this and believe this, and then pretty soon we'll just have a country full of single people. Children who don't know their place anymore. Because of abortion, we'll have population control. Who knows what vaccines or whatever else they're doing out here. That'll also be population control.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, there is something in this. I believe in population control. I think that this is a way of keeping people from procreating.
Yeah. She was saying, the lady that wrote us is saying something along the lines of, she thinks this is detrimental. She felt this is she wanted to know if we think as like she's thinking. This seems to be a little bit more than just about a movie. And I mean, honey, you are absolutely right. This is clear to me. Trying to insert this idea. It's not about the Snow White thing. People got to start looking at the bigger picture. Because I think what happens is that we limit things to just, oh, that's just entertainment. We limited it there. And in today's society, we could probably say that years ago, but today's society, we can't say it anymore because everything's inclusive. They're trying to include everything, you know, just including everything, okay? And it's just to break down society. It's to you know, push away men. Yeah,
it's to keep us in control.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that we
100%.
don't do stuff. When you have a man in the house, then men can't protect you.
Right.
If men are protecting the houses, then that means the government can come in and protect. I mean, they're gonna. I'm telling you, one day they're gonna issue martial law. With all this breakdown of you know, all of this no defunding cops and stuff. Believe me, it's coming. They're just trying to break down our defenses. You know, it's coming. They're already going after God, which I've been saying that for years. They're coming after God because God is the only thing that makes people, you know, stand up for themselves or has something that's greater than the government. The government can't have that.
Yeah.
The government can't have people who have something greater than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then also just like was it Jason Whitlock was saying that one day, he said this is all under the same umbrella of Marxism. If you're a person that likes feminism, you're going to be for BLM, you're going to be for climate change,
you're going to
be for the Ukraine, you're going to be for Hamas, you're going to be for all of the things. This is what it takes to be under these people, and all these people all believe the same thing.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I mean? They're all BLM. They're all women's rights. They're all climate change. They're all they're one big slogan.
I think Jason said it's part of the package.
He called it. He said he compared it to when you used to buy cable bundles, and when you just wanted ESPN, but then you had to get all this other stuff because it came in with the bundle.
Right.
He's like, well, this is what happens with a lot of these people. In order to be a feminist, you have to be
do all the
BLM
other stuff
because it comes with the bundle.
Yes. Then they put out a cute, fun, young,
pretty
girl out there to do it.
Two pretty girls.
Just like they put out, you know, the cool rapper to do that. They put out the Meg Thee Stallions to do that. They put out all the people so you can just be fawning over every word that they're saying, when all the while they're just kind of manipulating the situation, and then they're injecting their own these new ideas that are really messing up society.
Like the Kardashians, to me, were used because I think that when you're on Instagram all the time taking photos of yourself, no matter if you're a woman or a man, just overdoing that, there is a sort of self-worship that you can't get over, and there's also a sort of needing to be approved by likes and stuff, and I think the Kardashians really introduced that, because Kim had a book called Selfie, and because she took all these selfies, and those women, I think, were really instrumental in the culture of Instagram. People always taking a picture of themselves and always want to look pretty and fixing their photos and all of these things. And that's a sort of bondage because you can't get off. Sometimes I'm on Instagram, every once in a while I'll go on that and I'll see people who just can't get off. You can tell they need some sort of satisfaction or some sort of shot of esteem.
Well, also I also think it's about relevance. See, I think a lot of people are fighting to be relevant. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they need you to see them every day in a spectacular look. You know, they need people to notice me. I am still here. So there's almost an addiction to taking selfies. Yeah. Addiction to always posting something, right? There's an addiction to it.
And girls got more naked, more sexual because you wanted to get more relevant. So the more relevant you are, the more sexual you have to be, the more the more naked you have to be, and because of that, you even demoralize yourself trying to get likes.
It's really dangerous, though. I know people have asked us before. You know, you guys should post more on Instagram, something like that.
It's bondage.
You should post more on. You should have TikTok or whatever. I say, so that will never happen. We're not TikTokers. We're not going to do TikTok. That's not a thing. Or the Snapchat and the Twitter, what's called X now. Like we're not really much into that.
I've learned a lot over the years about bondage. And believing too much in things,
vanity, and all that. Yeah,
even like with weight. I mean, because I was overweight a lot of years, and I think that we got Lizzo, and she just said be fat.
It's like,
you know what I mean? I think there are like there's this sort of thing where we're just supposed to give into our desires all the time.
And that I don't like.
You know what I mean?
I'm uncomfortable with that, and I think that's very dangerous.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So even when you talk about like Gal Gadot and this girl, just because you can, just because you think you might be able to surpass a man, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you're so passionate? Or are you doing it because you're literally trying to show men that you can do better than them? Because that's again some sort of mental bondage.
Yeah, so it's like, then why are you doing that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there is some kind of mental bondage with that. There's a need to prove.
Do you really want to do that? Or are you just doing that because you want to prove something that is not? You know, someone said something. I wish they said. I can't remember what it was. But it was the Leave It to Beaver guy. Leave It to Beaver's dad. I was watching this memorandum of people who passed away, and when you watch the memorandum, when the person comes up, they tell their how long they lived, and then they have they'll play a snip, a quote or something that they did during their career. And his career was, he said, remember, don't try to be don't try to be better than the next person, just try to be better, or something like that. I'll show you. Okay. But it was something like that. I thought, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. You guys, let us know what you think about that. You guys are familiar with this lady? I sure did not know who she was. Sorry, didn't know who she was. But let us know what you think. Leave some comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that yet. And that's it. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye.